Okay, good evening. I'm going to go ahead and call us the business meeting for 2017 to order. Good evening, everyone. We'll start first with an approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda? Sharon Walpole. Thank you, Sharon. Is there a second?
What's her name?
There's a second. Tell me your name again. Zoe Philippakis. Thank you. There's a second. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Opposed say nay. Abstentions? Okay. The agenda as written is approved. We'll move on to approval of the minutes. There are copies of the minutes and the agenda circulating. I've had a minute to review them. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from our last business meeting? Is there a motion? Sharon Walpole again.
And then there's a second in the back.
I'm sorry, I can't see that far. Jane Lammers. Thank you. Is there a second? Kim Boothroyd. Second, thank you. Any discussion on the minutes? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Abstentions, thank you. The minutes have been approved. Okay, so I will just give a short report here. You've been hearing a bit about the strategic plan over the year, and there is a one-page overview that's going around. And the strategic plan has had some revisions over the year, the main one being the inclusion of a research strand, which is central in our mission, and was embedded within the other strands, but this is has its own attention now, and that came from the feedback from many of you. So what you'll see is a one-page overview. If you don't have a copy of it, it is on the website. But we really do see this as a living document, and it's important for everyone to really feel as though this is your strategic plan and look for points of engagement and encounters with that strategic plan, and then find ways to give that feedback back to the board and committee chairs and ICG chairs as we move forward as an organization. So I also want to highlight just a couple of developments in the organization this year, which you may or may not have heard of so far throughout the conference. We do have 2 new awards which pay tribute to colleagues. The Arthur Appleby Award, which will be presented to an outstanding article in literacy research published in a refereed journal in the previous calendar year. And the second new award is the Bryan Street Memorial Award for Scholarship Bridging Anthropology, Education, and Literacy Practices. And the purpose of this award is to honor the contributions to theory, research, and practice that Bryan Street made to the field of literacy studies, and to encourage intellectual conversations across borders about literacy practices, culture, language, and education. So we're very happy to honor our colleagues in this way. Another important development is the Leadership Fellows Program, which was developed by Janice Almasi and Gwendolyn McMillan and will be launched in 2018. And this is a program to support the mentorship of mid-career scholars to support pathways into leadership. And so you'll be hearing more about that throughout the year. I also want to announce that over the course of this year, the Board of Directors decided to request proposals for a new management association group in order to seek industry standard in the field, particularly with regard to cost effectiveness and to promote our organization's positive development. And we had many applications and went through a evaluation of these proposals. And it was, the board decided that Association Services Group will be our new management company. They are, you may have noticed, they have been at the conference this year, so we are in the process of a transition, and we think that this overlapping transition will really help to support the organization. I do want to thank KWMG, particularly Lynn Hupp, for her support with this transition. I think things are going very smoothly. And starting January 1st, 2018, ASG will have taken over all of the administrative duties of our organization. So we're excited about the future of LRA, and we think that you will continue to see many good things coming over the next year. So I'll turn things over to President-elect Gay Ivey.
I briefly want to give you some numbers from the conference this week. And so I'll start with the, gosh, can you see that at all? The proposal submissions this year, there were a total of 1,013 submissions received. Out of those, 629 were accepted. If we subtract study groups, which don't represent original research proposals per se, there was an acceptance rate this year of 61.6%. And I always like to, if you, I don't know, there's a range of scholars in the room to look in terms of thinking about next year of who's getting which areas are getting lots of proposals and which aren't. And I want to put in a plug for people, those of you who are doing important work in literacy assessment, evaluation, and public policy. Area 4, those area chairs would love to see your proposals, strong proposals, and this is work that our organization and we all need really good research in this area. And so I just want to put in a plug for that area in particular, and to thank everyone who participated in the review process. I also, though, want to remind you again about the importance of being a reviewer. We need our most seasoned, experienced scholars in particular to serve as proposal reviewers. So that being said, I want to turn quickly to tentative registration numbers. And I say tentative because these numbers change a little bit. These were the numbers as of about noon today, but keep in mind when we get back, these numbers will drop as people who had to cancel might ask for reimbursement and so forth. And so these are tentative. But I think important, I want you to pay attention to these numbers. So as of about midday today, our total registration, and this included some speaker complimentary registrations and so forth, was at 1,217. If you want to understand what that looks with recent historical data, which I think is really important for us as an organization to look at, this will give you a sense. In 2016, the registration was 1,440, and I want to add, though, that you might remember there were 50 Tennessee teachers who were given complimentary registration. So if we take that out, the registration looks more like 1,390. 2015, 1,205, and 2014, 1,207. But I want to remind you that 1,217 number won't stay there probably. So, so this is something for us to think about, and I'll just leave that with you to reflect on, and I'm sure we'll be taking it up in conversations here and there and in the board. And so, thanks a lot.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. So it is my great honor and pleasure to introduce the slate for the 2018 elections for Board of Directors and VP-elect. Before I do that, I'd like to recognize and say thank you to those who served on the nominations committee, who gave of their time and commitment to do the heavy lifting. I will say your name if you're here and ask that you remain standing so that we can acknowledge you. Grace Enriquez, Jesse Gaynor, Jennifer Danridge Turner, Susan Piazza, and Gay Ivy, and Pat Enciso. So let's give them a round of applause and thank them so much for their service. And now, I'm so excited to introduce first the candidates for the Board of Directors. And so as I say your name, if you would please stand and remain standing so that we can acknowledge you. Deetra Price Dennis, Teachers College. Gerald Campano, University of Pennsylvania. Althea Lazar, St. Joseph's University. Kathy Short, University of Arizona. Ramon Martinez, Stanford University. And Allison Scarrett from University of Texas at Austin. Let's give them all a round of applause. And now for the candidates for Vice President-elect. And again, as I say your name, please stand to be recognized. Gwendolyn McMillan from Oakland University. And Guofeng Lee, University of British Columbia, Canada. So those are our candidates for Vice President-elect and also for Board of Directors. You will see the candidate statement in the spring newsletter and a ballot will come out, so please vote. Thank you very much. Yes, so 2018 conference is in Palm Springs at Indian Wells Renaissance. Yeah, I still have not been there, so, but I'm looking forward to visiting in February. So we have an exciting conference to look forward to in 2018. Should I introduce the theme too? Well, I didn't know, but I didn't want to steal Gay's thunder, so, okay. All right, so the theme, the theme for the 2018, the call for proposals, is reclaiming literacy research, centering activism, community, and love. So you'll see more about that call. Thank you. So I'm looking forward to seeing how people take up the call and continuing to build on the positive movement that we've seen happening at this year's conference. Thank you.
That's really small, isn't it? Good evening, everyone. Can you see that? I sure hope so. Just in case you can't see it, I'll read it for you. Our total assets are $1,022,186.52. Now, this is a list of all of the accounts that we have, including our Fidelity account. We have several Merrill Lynch accounts and a checking and money market account with Regions Bank. So that's a total assets. Now, I'm going to take this time, this period of time from my treasurer's report to talk about LRA 2020. Now, LRA 2020, some of you were there last night, and some of you were not. And I don't want you to feel as if you missed anything. So Caitlin and Kelly are going to help us as they pass out these LRA 2020 information sheets. It talks about LRA 2020. What is LRA 2020? It's a campaign that the board has launched, and the purpose of it is we would like LRA to have perfect vision. What is that? That means that we have everybody involved. 100% volunteerism, so that everybody is volunteering for something, and 100% contributors. All of the contributions are tax deductible, and if I sound like someone who's at a fundraiser, that's what I mean to do, because as Gay mentioned, our conference is, you know, the amount of people who are attending has decreased a little bit. The funds are there. You heard our assets are at $1 million, but we're shooting toward financial sustainability. Last year, I talked to you about an emergency fund and how we wanted to increase that. If you take a look, I believe it is the third line item. It is now at $310,230.44, which means that we are sustainable if our conference, for some reason or other, falls through. That can be weather or whatever the reason. So we started off trying to make sure that that happened. Now that we're there, we want to keep pressing and move toward perfect vision. So what does that mean? We want you, while you're looking at these sheets, to contribute to whatever is in your heart. Whichever committee is important to you, whatever function of the organization is important to you, make sure that you go online and push the donate button, or you can complete these pledge sheets and give them to either Caitlin or Kelly, and we will bug you all year to make sure, just like your colleges, to make sure you make the donation. There are various ways to do it. For example, this evening we're honoring Brian Street. For several months, we've been working with David Bloom to put together that particular award. Prior to Brian's passing, he wanted to share some of his money with LRA because this is his professional home. So that's the reason the award is starting. We want other people to do that. You can give in memory of someone. Our president is giving royalties from her new book to, I believe it's the Star. Okay, the STAR group. So whichever group is important to you, just make sure you do it. Now, we're getting really quiet like it happens at church when you start talking about money. So I'll end by saying, where your treasure is, there is your heart also. Make sure you give. We have a little jingle. If you go online, you'll see it. You know, LRA, LRA. Donate to 2020 today. Thank you. Oh, are there any questions? I'm sorry, I was supposed to ask. Any questions about the accounts? All right.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lynn Hupp with Cotter Winhold Management Group. On behalf of the entire meeting planning staff that's been here all week, we feel like this has been a great conference. It's really been seamless from our end, so we appreciate that and appreciate everybody's help who helped make it a successful conference. I hope you all have had a great time. We sure have. Really, my report is more on membership. Right now, we're at about 1,505 members. Because today is the first of the month, the numbers went down actually as from yesterday, because at the end of every month, those people who have not renewed roll off. So encourage you to check your membership status and update your profile on the website. And we're here until noon tomorrow at the registration desk. If there's anything we can do for you, just let us know.
I don't know if you're like me, Lynn, but I'm usually behind the scenes, so this is a little different for me. I'm Caitlin Hyatt, and I'm the new executive director as of January 1. I'm from Association Services Group, and this is my colleague, Kelly Atkinson. She'll be working on the meetings portion in conjunction with me. We are delighted to be here and to view everything that's been going on, and we feel like we really have a good understanding of where you guys are and where you can go. We've been working with Lynn Hupp and her team at KWMG, and we cannot say enough good things about Lynn and her team. They've been extremely grateful, open and transparent, and truly professional, so thank you, Lynn. I really appreciate it. As Rebecca stated, we will be responsible for the day-to-day administrative duties, board meetings, financial management, membership services, conference management, communications, marketing, and more as of January 1. There'll be some transition over the next couple weeks, but we hope to have everything in place by January 1 and move forward with you. Over the coming months, we also hope to develop an understanding of the specific character, values, needs, and resources of LRA, along with working with the board, LRA leadership, and membership on strategic planning and implementation. We're excited about the future of LRA and believe ASG will be essential to continuing LRA's excellence in literacy research, as well as achieving our future initiatives. Thank you.
Okay, so this is my favorite part of this meeting, and really, I mean, we are a member-led and run organization. It's truly amazing the effort, the contributions, the service that people provide to LRA. And so I'd like to begin by thanking past President Pat Enciso for her years of exemplary service to this organization.
She might walk off right now. Thank you.
Do you want to say it?
Just very briefly. This is a really daunting and inspiring experience to be a leader of LRA for these 4 or 5 years. I've learned so much from watching people sit in meetings for hours and hours and hours. It can be entertaining, but it's mostly intense, listening, thinking, working out ideas together, moving forward with some initiatives that when I began, I had no idea where we were going to go in 5 years. And with the incredible just intellect and commitment and energy of these women, Gwen, I can't say enough about you. You're I mean, every time she shows up with a budget, I'm like, wow, I would never do that. Lynn's minutes, the work that goes on in between all of these meetings, it's just inspiring, and I want to thank you all for letting me be part of this. Thank you.
And now, thank you to our outgoing board members. When I call your name, would you come up and we'll have everyone on the stage here. First, I'd like to recognize Deborah Wells-Rowe. A nice row of leaders, and Pat got done way too early.
I know. Jump up.
And thank you to Sharon Walpole.
Yes, you do.
And Marla Mallette. Is Marla here? Well, let's give Marla a round of applause anyway. And now on to our standing committees. Grace Enriquez, thank you so much for your service to Field Council. Oh, we're not going to do the whole organization. We're not going to do the whole one? No? Oh, I don't know. Lynn, help us out here. How do we usually do this? Thank you to Ann McGill-Franzen, Chair of Policy and Legislative, who's ending her term. And to Rachel Karchmer-Klein, Chair of Publications, who's ending her term. And introducing our new incoming board members and chairs. Board members, Wanda Moore. Sarah McCarthy. I am so sorry, Wanda Brooks. Would you come stand up? The new incoming board members, would you come stand in our row of organizational leaders? Thank you. And Yolanda Sealy-Ruiz. Standing committees, we also have new chairs coming in. Dana Robertson will be chairing Field Council. Thank you. Please come and stand. Devin Branner is continuing her appointment. Devin, are you here? And Peter McTari is also continuing his appointment as Chair of Publications. Award committees, we have incoming chairs for our award committees, Ileana Reyes. And Patricia Edwards is taking on a second term of Chair of Distinguished Scholar Lifetime Achievement Award. So thank you to Pat. I also want to give a very special thank you to Lynn Shanahan, who accepted a second appointment for secretary of our organization. Thank you so much, Lynn. And Dixie Massey, who accepted an appointment, continuing appointment as our historian. Dixie, thank you very much. Jackie Malloy couldn't be with us this evening, but she has been the newsletter editor for a very long time. A lot of behind-the-scenes work, and we're very grateful for her work with the newsletter editor. And Tao Han and Jesse Gaynor took over the newsletter editorship. Come on up for this fall, and we thank you for that. Tao, come stand, and we'll get a nice photo of everyone together. And last but not least, I want to thank Gay Ivey for her leadership with the program this year. This has been an extremely rich program, and the sessions have come together in very meaningful ways, and we want to thank you. And we have a recognition of artwork that we want to share with you. You would come up. Thank you to Gay. And now the moment that I have to admit that I've been waiting for some time. I've been carrying this gavel around with me, and I'm so happy to transfer it to you.
Is there a motion to adjourn the annual business meeting?
Sarah McCarthy. Sarah, thank you.
Is there a second?
I can't see.
Jen Turner seconds.
Okay. We can't see.
We are adjourned.